Hi and welcome to another Pantyhose talk video. As you can see by the title, today's video will be a story video, but before we get into that, me and Mr. Nylon would like to thank you for helping the channel grow. We have passed 2,000 subscribers and it's all because of you. Without your support, this would have not been possible. Here's to 2,000 more subscribers and many more Pantyhose content. And now to today's story. Pantyhose winter in Russia. Hi, I am Michelle. I am 22 years old and I live in Russia, and I am a pantyhose encasement fetishist. So many of you asked me, how did you start with encasement? Well, here is my story. When I was young and went to school, I had to wear a school uniform. It was a white shirt with a greyish, rather short skirt and black pantyhose. So I was wearing pantyhose in one form or the other all my life. Pantyhose became something absolutely normal for me, part of my everyday life. When I grew older, I still had to wear this uniform. Since it was not allowed to change the shirt or skirt, the only variation that I could do was the pantyhose. So I started to look for more nice nylons, more shiny, different colours, different pattern and so on. Mostly I go attracted by the high glossy ones, and I started to notice that if you spend a little more money, the pantyhose was smoother, more silky, a real experience on the legs. I really got addicted to buy more and more pantyhose. Over time, my collection of shiny pantyhose outgrew my little cupboard, and I placed them openly on my desk in my little sleeping room. It was winter when I started to date my first boyfriend. We went out to bars, clubs, or just walking through the park in cold, snowy Moscow. Still, I was wearing even in winter my skirts and pantyhose. The first time I took him to my apartment, he noticed the pantyhose and started asking about them. He was impressed how silky they feel, but at this point I did not wonder about it. Over time and more dates with him, I noticed that some of my pantyhose disappeared. I just noticed it. It did not worry me, as it was a reason to buy more. Then one day when we were out, I told him that my parents surprisingly left for the weekend and I took him home. Somehow I was feeling very horny, and as soon as we were in my apartment, I started to undress him. When I wanted to pull down his trouser, he backed off a little bit, but I insisted to take it off. To my surprise, he was wearing one of my missing shiny pantyhose underneath. He got all red over his face and started to stumble something about cold winter outside. I complained with him that he stole my most shiny pantyhose and did not tell him, that it looked very sexy for me to see him in this silky, shiny pantyhose. He promised not to do it again, but I could not hold myself back anymore, and started to caress his silky legs and his nylon-covered dick. Not to mention that we had, for the first time, wonderful nylon sex together. The feeling of nylon legs rubbing at each other really turned me on, much more than I ever expected. Later he told me that he really likes to wear pantyhose, but was much too ashamed to tell me. I said not to worry, and that I like it too when he was wearing pantyhose. I could feel how relieved he was. Since that time, we went out together to shop for silky pantyhose and had fantastic pantyhose sex over and over again. We both started to experiment what else we could do with our newly discovered fetish. And one time I pulled a nylon stocking over his face, and he did the same with me. In return, I pulled a nylon leg over his arms, and so we ended up encasing each other over and over with pantyhose. And we both knew, this is it. This is the ultimate pantyhose experience. Since then we were addicted to shiny pantyhose encasement, and still today we try new things with nylon we haven't done before. The latest pantyhose invention is video, encasement video. We enjoy making encasement clips together. And maybe it is also an inspiration for you. Nylon kisses from Russia, Michelle.